My name is Luc Mulling. I'm the moderator of today. And before we go over to the presenters and they will introduce themselves, I would like to briefly mention some interactive options. So first of all, you can write where you're logging in from and say hello through the chat. So I can see some people already did that, so great. That is just nice for us to know who's joining in from where. Second of all, you can write your questions at any time through the panel called questions. Please do it there because then we make sure we don't get lost and we answer your questions later on. I'll open up a couple of questions for you. Actually, the first one is coming up. Just to get to know you a little bit better, and I will have some polling questions. And last but not least, we have another button that's called the fun button. And that is the interactive option to react whenever you like. At the bottom of the screen, you can click on react. And there you can that's the one. Just let us know anything when you like it. It's just to make it a bit more interactive and fun also for the presenters. So we go over to the presenters. We go over to Giulia in Milano, and she will introduce the agenda and the rest. So go ahead. Good luck.
Thank you, Luc. Thank you very much. So what are we doing today? We are doing a webinar. We are talking about how to bridge the gap between food, health, and environment with a Master of Science in Consumer Behavior. I'm Giulia. I work for Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore in the International Marketing and Recruitment team. And together with, let's see if I can open the panel for everybody, together with Professor Gwendalina Graffigna and Goksu and Berfin, we are going to go over an interesting webinar today, just to let you see what we are going through. Let's go through the agenda. We are going to see why you should study in Italy and why you should choose Università Cattolica and Italy to study consumer behavior in the specific, okay? And then you're going to see what the program looks like. Professor Graffigna is going to quickly go over what the program structure is going to be and the faculty, but the most interesting part would be the interview that I'm going to have with Professor Graffigna and with Mrs. Aksoy and Mrs. Karaman, two current students of the webinar and of the master's degree, who are very nicely present today in the webinar. And then we're going to have some information about entry requirements and a brief spot for the Q&A. So at 5, 10, 15 minutes of our time is going to be dedicated to answering your questions in specific. Okay. So first of all, why Italy? We are at Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore and we are in Italy, okay? Well, it feels like I'm repeating myself, but you know, some of you may not be familiar with what Italy is and where we are and why you should choose Italy to study. So first of all, we have 5 campuses actually in Italy, and all of our campuses are directly connected to what you see in the slide. We have marvelous campus in Rome, which is a medicine-related campus, and this is because we have a really nice healthcare system, one of the best in the world. We have different campuses in the food valley of Italy because we're very good at not only doing food, but also to process food. So those are 2 things that Italians do very well. And also, I would say Italy is a magic location if you want to know what made in Italy really is, because there's a lot of industries, not only food, but also cars, yachts, so many that we are very, very good at. And that's why I think the industrial momentum of Italy has always been so interesting to study, and it's very nice to immerse yourself in Italy because of the vivacity of these industries. So, who are we specifically? I was talking about Italy and how we have 5 campuses across Italy. We are Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore, long name, Italian, very Italian name, so it's difficult to pronounce, but you know, once you get to Italy, you're going to be very good at pronouncing this. And we are a non-state university, meaning we are private, founded in 1921. I always say this might look like we're old. We're not actually that old compared to some universities in Italy who were founded in the medieval times, but still, we have been doing this stuff for quite a long time, more than a century now. As you see, it's a big, big university, one of the biggest universities in Europe, and I think it is the largest non-state university in Europe. That means we have so many students with so many different courses followed by these students. We have more than 40,000 students actually who study in more than 40 plus English taught programs, undergraduate and graduate programs combined. We have a lot of international students, and this number is only getting bigger. So and the main reason is, of course, because of you guys who come and study at our university, but also because we have many partner universities who are very good at what they do, and they really promote internationality and programs abroad for us as well. As I said, we have 5 campuses. Where are them? And specifically, where is this campus, where is this master's degree taught at? Well, you see, it's Cremona, but we have 5 campuses, which are in Milan, Brescia, Piacenza, Rome, and then Cremona. Cremona is at the heart of the Italian Food Valley, and we're going to talk about why specifically we decided to offer this specific course at Cremona with Professor Gwendalina Graffigna, as I said. So let's see why we should study at Cattolica specifically, not only because we're big and famous in Italy, but also because we have a lot of different students, different campuses. So we integrate all of these stakeholders into what we do daily. We try to fit the needs of both the faculties and the communities. So we have a local strategy. We try to stay connected with the area that the campus is located at, while attracting the international students and the international faculty that we have. We also have a strong academic profile. This is given also by the research that we can do, being a private institution, meaning we have a lot of funding compared to other universities, of course, in Europe and in Italy. And that means we have more to invest in research, which means that we have a strong academic profile. Also, multidisciplinarity, I think, is a thing to mention, because not many universities around Europe have this mix of schools that, sometimes they intertwine, they decide to run programs together. So you see different perspectives, and I think it's really interesting and a peculiarity of our university. Also, students are a lot, but they don't feel like we abandon them. They feel that they are welcomed, and they also have a lot of possibilities to stay here, go abroad, and be supported in what they do. We have student support services, we have student associations, so it's a really nice student experience overall. With regards to the point that I was touching on before, the academic excellence is recognized also by the QS World University Rankings and the Times Higher Education World University Rankings, where we ranked really high, considering that more than 5,000 universities were actually involved in the evaluation by these bodies. You can see with an asterisk, you can see all the schools that we have which are ranked top 5 in Italy. And you can also see that the School of Agricultural and Food Science is among the first 150. You can see also the psychology faculty, which is ranked in the top 150. So I think it's a really good mix for what regards to program specifically, to know that we ranked really high in both the subjects. Also, thanks to the fact that we're private, we have a really strong connection with the companies, with the territory, with the other institutions as well. So we ranked top 5 in Italy in employer reputation. Employers know about us, and they are happy with our students and the way they work after they get out of our institution and get in the workplace, offering a lot of services in this case as well, with a portal specifically to look for internships. So when you are a student, career days, you can see a little bit of, a small portion of the many companies that we work with on the bottom of the slide. So I think this is competitive advantage compared to maybe other universities around Europe as well. So, having said this, I would say I want to leave the word to Professor Graffigna, who can kind of explain what the program is like. I mean, I could have done that, but we have a professor and we have a coordinator, so she knows best. Thank you, Professor Graffigna, for being here.
Thank you very much for giving me the floor, and thank you for listening me. So this is a master program in psychology. The master program is completely taught in English, and we cover several disciplines, psychological disciplines related to health psychology and applied psychology. Mainly, we would like to face the sustainable development and the global health goals. And in particular, we want to train a new generation of psychologists specialized in bridging the gap between science and society, because as you know, there are a lot of global challenges that we will have to face as humanity in the next future, speaking about the healthcare needs that are growing, the risk of chronic diseases, the need to change the behaviors of patients in order to prevent diseases and the consequences, but also there are challenges related to climate change and how it is require humanity to adjust to those changes and also to change behaviors in order to diminish the impact of our conducts on the environment. And also food is another area that is evolving and emerging. First of all, we need to feed all the humanity, and to feed all the humanity but in a sustainable way, scientists are finding new strategies, new technologies, new kind of foods, but this imply also the acceptance of such innovation from the global population. So in general terms, we really believe that psychologists can be the key to support behavioral change of individuals, communities, and organization in order to face in a positive way and to boost positive and well-being. Psychology can support individuals to adjust to those changes, to be resilient to all those changes, and also to be more trustful with science and technological innovation. Our perspective is what we name a One Health perspective. So this is basically a master program that wanted to train psychologists to understand the behaviors and to change behaviors in a broad spectrum of an health perspective. Health seen as well-being, physical health, mental health, positive health, but this not only of the individual, but also of the community, and in a good balance with the health of the planet and the health of the animals as well. So that's why the program, that is a psychological program, but is developed in collaboration with the School of Food Science and Food Technology. And so our students can also take the advantage to take some technical, scientific class related to human nutrition, related to sustainability, to food production, in order to have a specific scientific knowledge of such technical aspects. So the last thing I wanted to say is that this program is very experiential. We offer a professional learning. This program also allowed graduated to register to the community of professional psychologists in Italy. And so this could be an advantage for who is interested in working in Italy, but also who is interested in working in another country can value this professional title. But apart from the title, this means that students are required to achieve 20 credits of professional learning. 6 credits are acquired in the first and second year of university, linked to some of the main classes in psychology, and this imply project works. Yes, you see here the main topics that we cover. So, for instance, consumer psychology, social and community psychology applied to health, clinical psychology of lifestyle, psychology of decision-making and behavioral change. Those are the main exams, the main classes in psychology. And you see the sign because this means with field project. Field project means that we request at least 1 credit. The students have an experiential learning, can be with the external professional coming and providing testimonials or case study, or doing some project works with a strong connection with the healthcare system or companies in the area. And plus, in the second year, the second semester, students will have to stay in a care organization or a company for 250 hours to do their internship. And the internship will be important for then getting their final degree. For currently, we are organizing internship in a pharmaceutical industry, in an industry that is implementing a responsible gaming solution, and in an agency that does marketing research in the food area, and also food sensory analysis. For instance, those are the 3 first internships that we have organized. In relation to the other topics covered, you see that there are also some methodologies that are important. And finally, what are the main job outcome? Basically, you can choose between two pathways. One is more related to health, and so you can become an health psychologist or community psychologist, a behavioral change specialist, a nutritional psychologist, well-being psychologist, working both in a healthcare organization or in the private sector as a consultant and coach. Or the second profile is more consumer and company related, and you can work in the marketing intelligence division of a company, or in the marketing and communication team, or in the consumer insight division. So those are the two main areas of job profiling, job employment that you can find. I think I have covered more or less everything, but then we will have the chance in the interview to cover other topics.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, thank you very much. Now I think we can go a little bit deeper in some of the aspects that you rightly mentioned during this brief presentation. So if I may, I'm going to start with a couple questions for you, Professor Graffigna. So you talked about One Health perspective, and what does it mean, and how do you integrate this in the curriculum? Like, how do you see this One Health perspective declined in each of the classes or part of the classes that you offer?
Yeah, so in our country, psychologists are considered healthcare professions. So this means that they have to deal with health, but in a broader sense. In our case, we deal with well-being and also the empowerment and the engagement of individuals or their communities. But also in medicine and in science in general, there is more and more the awareness that to promote health, it is important considering the impact that the environment health can have on the individual health, and also the impact that animal wellness can have in individual health, and vice versa. An example, when we get sick and we may take antibiotics. Antibiotics are a very important drug solution that was discovered in the past in order to save life. But now a plug for the humanity is antimicrobic resistance, because our body started to become resistant to antimicrobic. This why? Because we are consuming too much antibiotics. And we are consuming too much antibiotics because some residual antibiotics are in the food we eat. Some chicken or some pigs are treated with too much antibiotics. And the type of meat that we feed may have an impact on our health. Another reason is because sometimes in the water, in the environment, there are residual of antimicrobic that are used not only for farming, but for growing the animals. And this again can have an impact on our health. And finally, because in the dynamic doctor-patient, sometimes the doctor overprescribe antibiotics because patients has request to have the drug and to recover very fast, and so they are pushing too much also in the relationship with the doctor, and sometimes there are problems of alliance between the doctor and the patient. So this just to mention some example of how health today it's very complex, because my health depends not only on how I psychologically support and I'm resilient to a medical problem and how I'm able to get engaged in my patient journey and my relationship with the doctor, but my health is also impacted by what I eat. It's impacted by the production in the agri-food system and by farming and so forth. And the only solution is to raise awareness about health principles, to educate people, not only patients, but also care provider, farmers, policymakers, and to engage in behavioral change. And how to do this? How to make people change their beliefs, change their attitudes, change their habits, thanks to psychology. Thanks to psychologists that can coach and support people, patients, doctors, farmers, industries, to understand the problem, to change their attitudes towards the problem, to change their decision-making pathway, and so forth. So you see, even though some problems are very global and sounds like just a policy-making issue or just a market issue or just a scientific issue, at the very end, all those issues deal with the choices, with the decisions that individuals take every day. And when decisions, attitudes, beliefs, behaviors are concerned, this is psychology. But we need new psychologists able to integrate all those visions in order to serve to humanity, to help humanity to adapt, to change, to be resilient, to collaborate, to support innovation, to support science, okay? So, and to be able to be happy and to live better as individual, as people that work in a company, people that are professional, and so forth. So this is a One Health perspective in psychology, because still we are working with health, well-being, empowerment of the different actors, but in a broader spectrum of health that is not only mental diseases, that is not only biological diseases, but that is well-being in society and in the real context that is also made by the environment.
Thank you very much. I think it explained a lot about, the interdisciplinary approach that the program uses to bridge, the consumer psychology and health, sustainability, adaptation issues. So it's very interesting. Thank you very much. Another question that I have would be, can you share one example where consumer insights have driven innovative solutions to complex health, environmental changes and challenges that you have in mind right now, maybe?
Like I mentioned, what we are working on now, that we are working in the field of longevity. Longevity means not only that we are getting old, and this is luck. Our country is one of the oldest in the world. And thanks to the quality of life in our country, people are able to age well. But today, it is not only an issue of healthy aging, but it's an issue of getting longer age, so longevity. So we start aging since we born. And becoming old is an issue that is also for the young generation. They need to change their lifestyle in order to improve their health, live more, and live with a better quality of life when aged. So in this sense, nutrition is a crucial aspect. That's also why the strong linkage between psychology and nutrition, because our health is also based on our nutrition. There are a lot of studies that link our gut with our brain, and that demonstrate that what we eat have an impact on our mental health, on our diseases, but also on our happiness and also on our stress management. But also our immune system, for instance, it's impacted by what we eat. and also our musculoskeletal body is impacted by what we eat. And this is crucial when we get old. So in this project, we are working together with food technologists and food companies to develop new products that can be dedicated to elderly people in order to boost their ability to age well, and in particular to boost their immune system and to beat sarcopenia, that is the loss of muscle and that lead to frailty. Now, food technologists and industries have the science related to what should be the proteins and the ingredients to be put in the foods in order to be enriched for elderly people. But elderly people are also very resistant to any food innovation because they are very traditional, because they are very afraid of any change. So it's not only a matter of selling new products, it's a matter of helping people to change their food habits. And on the other hand, it's important to change the way science and food science develop foods, because scientists, my colleagues, need to know what are the things that elderly people would like and what are the things that they are not disposed to change. So that's why psychologists come into place, because we start understanding what are the criterion of choice that elderly people use, what are their fears, what are their tradition, what are their expectations and needs for food. And we take these insights and we bring these insights to scientists, giving them the rules for the food innovation and say, this could be doable, this not, because people don't want this. And then after that, our colleagues from food science develop a prototype, then we propose the prototype to elderly people. And we work with elderly people to understand their sensory expectation, their tastes, their reaction to those novel foods. And on the basis of this kind of feedback, then we go back again to the scientist and improve the food and so forth. So that's one of the examples of how psychologists can work, in this case, closely with industry, the research and development of a food industry, in order to boost an innovation that will be sold, that will be on the market, but also that is ethical, that is patient-centered, that is focused on the human needs.
Thank you very much. That was very interesting, actually. So one last question for you, Professor. What would be the ideal student for this kind of program? Like, what do you look for in an applicant?
We look for innovators in psychology. So, I mean, if you are interested in health psychology, but also you are keen to have a very applied program, so probably this is the good place for you, because we provide a very science-based approach to cover all the main topics in psychology, in particular in health psychology, but with the possibility to work closely with companies and the care organization and no-profit organization. So this helps in having very concrete, very pragmatical experiences. And also, I think it is for innovators, because if you are a little bit an entrepreneur of yourself, and you want to face, to be prepared for the future of psychology. So this is not, as you can understand, is not a traditional program in psychology, but is a program that has the ambition to be at the forehead in order to train future psychologists that are very updated with the future needs of the care system, of the agri-food system, of the societal world. And so it's looking in advance and being prepared in a multidisciplinary spectrum, in a multidisciplinary approach to apply for answering the future challenges of humanity.
Thank you very much. It's always very interesting to hear from professors who teach at their programs, because all of you are always very passionate about what you teach. So it's very interesting to hear. I think we should go ahead and talk to the students, actually. I think people want to hear from you guys. So let's start from the first question for Berfin. Can you introduce yourself and share why you chose this master's degree? And then I think we can also hear Göksu's experience.
Hello, everyone. My name is Berfin Kahraman, and I am from Turkey. I have a background in both psychology and also nutrition and dietetics, which has given me a unique perspective on how consumer choices are influenced by both mental and physical well-being. And I chose this MSc in consumer behavior because I always been fascinated by how people make decisions. And also this program combines my interest in psychology, marketing, and nutrition, and allowing me to explore how consumer choices shape industries like food, health, and technology.
Göksu.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Göksu, and I am also from Turkey. I studied psychology for my bachelor degree, and while I was doing my bachelor, I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed because I thought the only pathway forward was either in clinical or in health settings. But after some time, I realized that I wanted to integrate psychology with marketing. So I choose this program because it offers an interdisciplinary approach that connects consumer behavior with critical areas such as sustainability and food. And also the courses at Cattolica University, which focused on psychology and behavioral change, align with my career goals. So it made this program the ideal choice for me.
Thank you very much. It's interesting that you guys chose the program in the same way and for the same reasons that Professor Grafigna said. This is why it's unique. So amazing to me that you said this. Let's start from Berfin again, asking what your expectations were before starting, and how has the program met or exceeded them? And then, of course, we're going to go to Göksu as well.
Okay. Actually, I expected a strong balance between psychology and marketing, and that's exactly what I found. I knew the program was interdisciplinary, but once I started, I realized we go deeper and deeper into every field. Actually, it's getting your perspective wider and helps you see connections you wouldn't have noticed before. The program actually has exceeded my expectations in terms of its interactive approach. The professors always brings in case studies, practical exercises, and industry insights that make learning much more dynamic. And also, I expected a diverse international environment, and it has been great to learn alongside students from different backgrounds, which makes actually discussions in the classroom richer.
So mine is similar to Berfin's. And before starting the program, I also expected to gain a strong understanding of consumer behavior in sustainability, health, and food, with a mix of theory and practical applications. And the program also has not only met these expectations, but exceeded them by offering interdisciplinary approach, insightful courseworks, real-world case studies, and also, as you mentioned before, the internship opportunities. The faculty's expertise and the diverse international environment have enriched my learning experience, provides valuable perspectives and networking opportunities that will benefit our future career.
Thank you very much. Luke, did you raise your hand?
No, sorry. All good.
Okay, perfect. Okay, it's okay. I am going to go over to Berfin again to ask what has been the most exciting and the most challenging part of the coursework. And I'm going to go over Goksu as well with this one.
Actually, like our Professor Grafinia mentioned, the most exciting part is that the course is so innovative. So there is no other program exactly like this, which makes it even more special. I'm excited about what I will discover and do in the future. But at the same time that I think the challenge is coming from there. This brings a challenge since it's a relatively new field. We have to take the initiative. We have to start something fresh. So that's both thrilling and demanding, I think.
And so for me, one of the most exciting parts is being able to explore how psychological and behavioral theories apply to real-world consumer decisions. And the most challenging part is integrating insights from different disciplines like psychology, marketing, and agriculture also to develop a comprehensive understanding of consumer behavior. But this interdisciplinary approach is also the most rewarding because it deepens our analytical skills and ability to apply theory to practical challenges.
Thank you very much. So most exciting part, it is new. So there's endless possibilities. Most scary part, it's new. So you don't know what's going on in the future. You have to create your own. Amazing. I'm just summarizing it here. Okay. So I'm asking one last question, I would say. How is living in Cremona as an international student? How do you guys like it? Go ahead, Berfin.
I think it's fantastic experience because you get to learn about different cultures inside and outside the classroom. We have, for example, our classmates coming from Italy, Costa Rica, China, Göksu and I coming from Turkey, and each of them brings a unique perspective to our discussions. Like I said, it's fun to study in such a diverse environment because we gain new insights and opinions that make the field even more exciting. And also Cremona, the lifestyle in Cremona is, I really love because I came from Istanbul and Cremona is really small, cozy, which means you can easily run into your friends after class and easy to make close connections. We plan activities together, and the city itself is beautiful. With the historic center, little flower shops and violin shops you can see. It's a charming place to live and study also. Just the problem, little bit cold, but you are getting used to it.
Sure enough. Goksu, how do you like Cremona?
I can say that it's a unique experience actually. Cremona, as Berfin said, has a relaxed atmosphere that we can also study and enjoy the Italian culture. Because it is a small city, the cost of living is also affordable. I can say that compared to the major cities, but it's also accessible to the larger cities, so we can also enjoy traveling while also focusing on our studies in Cremona.
Thank you very much. One last question, then we go over the admissions requirement because I've seen so many questions regarding that. So, an advice that you would give prospective students considering this master's science, Berfin?
Okay. If you're patient about understanding consumer psychology and want a program that blends marketing, psychology, and data-driven insight, this is the right place for you, I can say. Be open to learning from different perspectives, engage in discussions, and take advantage of the hands-on projects. It will truly shape your way of thinking. I'm thinking like this.
Thank you very much. Goksu, what's your advice for new students?
My advice will be I can recommend embracing this interdisciplinary nature of the program, and it's really a great opportunity to explore consumer behavior from multiple perspectives, like in discussions, collaborating with classmates from diverse international backgrounds, and taking advantage of the internship opportunities will absolutely enhance your learning experience. And also, like Berfin said, if you are passionate about understanding and influencing consumer decisions in the health, food, and sustainability context, this master is a great choice for you.
Thank you very much. I dare saying that if I had studied psychology, I probably would have chosen a master's degree like this one, because I mean, I have an economics background, but I think it's so interesting to see, you know, how much it is behind a consumer decision. So thank you very much. We are going to go over real quick because I also want to answer to the questions that came during the webinar. Unless you are from a partner university doing double degrees with us, which we can talk about it in a separate setting. These are the entry requirements and how to apply. The QR is going to redirect you to the website and the application portal. The application deadline for September 2025 for non-EU students is going to be May 7th, and for EU students it's going to be a little longer. We advise you to apply early because visas are taking longer this year. So I have to warn you. The tuition fee here you see is for EU students and non-EU students. It's around 6,625 to 6,400 for with the international scholarship that we usually give to European and non-European students. And most important thing I would say is the entry requirements, because I've seen some questions about this. We have to have an undergraduate degree that you have to obtain before the end of July this year. So even if you haven't graduated yet, you can apply. But the most important thing I would say is that it has to be a bachelor in psychology or any related subject to psychology with at least 120 ECTS in the field of psychology. So psychology related degrees are really welcome. And even more importantly, the English level must be an upper intermediate level, B2 in particular. It's an IELTS 6.5 in all the sections, or an 84 for TOEFL, just to give you an idea of what the minimum requirement for English in this setting are. As I said, tuition fees, entry requirements, they can differ for students coming from partner university if you want to do a double degree. So we can stay in touch after this. So I was really quick, but if you have any questions, of course, you can write it down in the questions box. And Luke, do you want to help me moderate the questions, please?
Yes, that's where I come back in. So we already received quite a lot of questions, so we're going to go through them. Just want to check here. Yeah. So we have the first question from Ina, asking about if the session was recorded, and that is the case. So I just want to mention that. So you can watch, if you missed something, you can watch it again later on. Then second of all, question from Francesca. What do I need for staying on campus?
Okay, Francesca, I'm not quite sure what you mean by this question. So if you could elaborate a little bit, it will help me answer this question.
Okay, I think I would assume it would be for housing to stay on campus. But I'll...
Sorry?
Jessica, I think it has to do with probably housing to stay on campus.
Oh, housing. Okay, okay. Well, if she answers back, then I will definitely get back to the question, please.
Yeah. Amalia is asking the possibilities for online attendance from time to time. Is that a possibility?
Okay. Professor, I will let you answer this question because I'm not sure how tolerant you guys are in terms of online attendance. I think there's not much online classes going on, but just to be sure, I'm going to ask you as well.
Yes, we prefer to have the presence. Actually, it is here. We have recorded all the lessons. The lessons stay for 1 week after the face-to-face lesson and can be seen after the lesson. Also, probably this will be confirmed also in the next years. So this means that you cannot participate online, but you can find the records of the lesson just after 1 week.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much as well. Next question from Yannick. I have a specific question about the qualifications and the prerequisites. But I see the contact form doesn't work. So I hope I can ask it here. What is the question?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to provide you with the email address that you can send your specific questions to later on, because I know some of you have very specific, background of very specific situations that need to be addressed in a different setting. So absolutely, I'm gonna provide you with an email that you can send all your questions to.
Good, thank you. And also to mention, by the way, there's a link. If you go to apps and you click on links, there's the link to the website where you find all the information about the programs. So if you click there and open it, then at your own page, you can go winner. Yeah, I think a very specific question, but I just mentioned it here. The question is there a possibility to work as an assistant if I prove to be well versed as a second-year student?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Professor Graffigna
I can,
this.
yes, this is absolutely. We have a research center in the campus, and for instance, now already a student from China asked to participate as an intern, and she's doing a little bit of research assistancy, and there are a lot of research opportunity, and we are happy to have students joining, and also the thesis can be a good occasion, because the thesis will be an empirical thesis, and this can be done with our group of research or with the other professors that they all have their research lab.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And next question from Louis. Will you help with finding an internship?
Okay, so I think Professor Graffinia also mentioned the internship part, so I guess I can let her answer in whether you will help finding an internship and how you do that.
Yeah, our university has a list of companies and healthcare organizations that are already linked to the university for the internship. So first of all, there is an office that is dedicated to tutoring students and to do some orienteering. Plus, there are some cases in which the students choose a company or an environment in where to do the internship, and they propose to the university to create the agreement. But anyhow, our university gives a lot of support for this.
Thank you. Good. Next question from us. What exams are required for admission? Only IELTS?
No, actually, it's not the only one that works. We also accept, well, we accept most academic English certificates. And actually, I have to correct myself because I said 6.5, but we actually ask for 6.0. So for IELTS purposes. And also, we accept Cambridge, we accept TOEFL. Unfortunately, I saw a question, so I'm answering this question in advance by saying we do not accept Duolingo right now.
Okay, thank you. Question from Jan, if I say that right. Is there any discussion of agroecological approaches in any of the models? Just curious about that, just to know.
Yes, absolutely, we do. We have one class that is dedicated to the farm to fork chain and the innovation in biotechnologies in agriculture that covers also sustainability. And then there are a couple of other optional courses that can be selected that are related to animal welfare, sustainability, and risks for the environment. And human nutrition also.
Great. Thank you very much. To answer that question. A question from Ms. Baan. I see you answered it. I think the colleague actually in the background answered it. But the question is interesting maybe for more people. Are you offering a post-study work visa and what's the process?
I haven't understood the question.
Yeah, me neither. I think we are not hearing you very well, Luke. So
Yeah.
can you repeat it?
So the question is, are you offering a post-study work visa and what is the process?
Oh, okay, the post-work visa. Okay, post-study visa. Yeah. My colleague in the background has already talked about this and she answered the question. But in Italy, after graduation, you have a 12-month work period that you can exploit before starting a job. So you can have 12 months a visa that lasts 12 months during which you can find a job and you are allowed to stay in Italy to find a job. During this period, you can convert your residence permit from study permit to job seeking permit. So yes, you can stay up until 12 months after graduating.
Okay, thank you. Question from Christoph, who's doing a master and is asking, is there a PhD program in consumer psychology? And so able to join after the master in clinical psychology, possibly a PhD.
Our university has an international PhD in psychology that is across all the different disciplines in psychology. So the process is to apply to the PhD school, and then if you and you have to apply also with a proposal and a project, and the project could be in consumer psychology, and that in that case you may be paired to a consumer psychology professor. That in particular, there is me, my group, and a colleague that we are working in consumer psychology. So this may be the process, but basically the PhD school in psychology at our university is across all the psychological sectors.
Okay, great. Thank you. John, who joining first degree in psychology, but it was from 20 years ago, and is currently teaching, and is very interested in the program. And will he be admitted in case he applies?
I think I have to leave the word to Professor Grafigna for this one.
Yeah, I think yes, it's not a problem because a degree is still a degree anyhow. So with this, we should probably see the kind of title and verify. But in general terms, when you get a graduation, it's forever. It's not a certificate that has a deadline. So potentially the only problem is to verify which kind of bachelor you achieved 20 years ago, and if it is in line with the requisites that today are in place.
Okay, thank you. Question from Misbah. Can you confirm something about the living costs? Maybe interesting to hear to the students.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say living costs depend on your lifestyle. So, of course, if you want to be like in the apartment right next to the university, in a single room with, or even in an apartment all by yourself, the cost is going to be higher than you living a little farther away and with, I don't know, a roommate. But that doesn't mean that you cannot live an affordable life in Cremona, because as Goksu and Berfin rightly pointed out, Cremona is a little less expensive compared to the normal, more famous university cities like Milano or Rome. We usually, for an estimate, we usually say between 12,000 14,000 a year to live like comfortably, but of course it has to be adjusted to your situation. This includes accommodation, food, transportation. So that would be an estimate.
Okay. The students, what can they say about this? I'd like to hear some of their input. Sorry, I'm not sure if you heard me. But the students, you're on mute. What about your intake and your insights on the cost of living?
Oh, okay. I still haven't heard you very well, actually. So.
Okay, sorry about that, because I had a problem with my computer, so I'm not sure what's happening. The question is if the students can give their insights, please.
Okay, the students. Okay, Berfin, Goksu, do you want to answer? Actually, before doing that, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to Professor Grafigna because she has class, I think, so she has to leave in 1 minute.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
For being
thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Bye-bye. Okay.
Go ahead, Berfin, or Gorkos, or whatever.
So I can agree with university because it's also more affordable. I think like 1,000 for a month will be enough for a like comfortable living with rent and everything. But also it depends on the preferences and like even food habits. It will change according to a personal living experience.
Yeah, actually, same. 1,000 in a month is. I think it will be enough for everything. But also, you're not paying too much for the transportation here because Cremona is really small city. If you're going to Milan, probably you will also pay for transportation. But for the rent, also, it's not like in Milan. I can say this.
Great. Thank you very much for the input. That is very much appreciated. As you living actually there, so you know the cost better than anyone. Okay, so yeah, with that we're getting to the end of the session. So I'd like to thank everyone. Just to make sure questions that have not been answered or maybe more personal, they will be sent to the staff. So the staff of Università Cattolica can come back to you still later. And also the link, as mentioned, to the program overview is under apps in links. So there you can find the program overview. So I'm going to show that one on stage, but just to show that to you right here. And last but not least, thank everyone for having joined. The students, of course, and the professor, who unfortunately had to go, but great insights, and Julia. And I leave the last word to you, Julia.
Yeah, thank you very much, everybody. So if you have a very specific question that you know, it applies to your case, and you have to give it to us as a peculiar case, you can absolutely do so at international.inquiry@unicat.it. You can find most answers to your questions on international.unicat.it, but if it doesn't help, of course we are here. There's a phone number that you can also call, and the QR code here is the one that leads you to the website of the specific program. So thank you again, guys, and well, I hope to see your application soon.
Yes, thank you. And yeah, we just put the last polling on the screen. So sorry to block some of you, but once it's submitted, it's all good. And we thank you very much for having joined. Have a good day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Bye-bye.
Bye.